And welcome back, everyone, to part 8 of What If Gaara Was Raised in the Leaf. Last time, we had the invasion of the sand and the sound. That was taken care of. And Jiraiya, knowing that he's the Jinchuriki of the Shikaku, did bring Gaara along for the training / finding Tsunade arc. Now, both Naruto and Gaara were learning the Rasengan, and Gaara was having an easier time of it, mostly just because he's got better chakra control. But he also did finally come to at least somewhat of an agreement with Shikaku. Because they were gone for months, this gave Gaara a chance, courtesy of Jiraiya helping him with the seal and all that, when he reformed the seal, to actually just talk to Shikaku. And finally just come to an arrangement about how to use his chakra. It's not like he can use all of Shikaku's power, obviously, but even a portion of even the weakest tail beast chakra is enough to give you a far superior boost to a lot of people. So he can basically activate a certain, he can get a Jinchuriki cloak. That's the general gist. But we would catch up to them finally finding Tsunade. And Tsunade's there. She's drunk. She's Jiraiya and her are playing cards. Naruto and Gaara's like, so this is Tsunade of the Sani. It's like, this old bat, really all that? Didn't mean to make that rhyme, but I did. And and eventually Tsunade talks about the Hokages and just like, Argh. And even Gaara's like, Gaara is just, not happy with what he's saying. Fine, Naruto steps up, challenges her to a fight. Naruto, are you sure that's a good idea? I'm gonna wipe that sneer off her face! And so Naruto obviously tries to fight her, fails miserably, fails to, get the Rasengan down at that time. But one thing that I think does as Gaara and Naruto, Gaara shows off to her and says, why teach someone who can never master it? I'm sure Naruto will be able to master it. I'm sure both of us will be able to. It's like, both of you? And he shows off, he's learning it too. It's like, not just one, but two kids? You serious, Jiraiya? Now that they might surprise you a little bit. For the wreck, we'll have it down in just 3 days. I might hold you to that. I'll give you a week. And so the week happens. But before all that, before the actual them training happens, Gaara, however, looks at Tsunade and says, for what it's worth, I respect someone like Master Jiraiya for his strength. Yes, he may have his flaws, but he still holds himself with a air of respect. You, on the other hand, disgrace the name of Sanin. And it's like, you little, and he just actually, one of the few moments that canon Gaara kind of comes out, giving her a glare. Not that it's like, shut up or I'll kill you, but more like a look like, you don't get the right, with everything I have fucking been through, you don't get the right. And like, someone long ago, kind of, didn't give me shit or anything, but they made a weird comment saying, why are we comparing saddest backstories or whatever? You shouldn't be comparing people's pain to each other. I'm like, okay, you're right, you shouldn't. Everyone's different, whatever. But there are circumstances if someone's bitching and moaning about how they are undervalued and like, oh, my mom died. And and my mom was terrible to me. She wouldn't let me do this and this. To someone who had abusive, drug addicted, pedo parents, and all this and this and this. I'm sorry, that secondary person has the right to tell the other person to shut the fuck up. Like, I am sorry that your mom didn't let you go to prom. But you know what? My mom wanted to have a private prom in the back room, so shut up. So it's like comparing pain. I get in real life, it's generally you shouldn't do that. But more importantly, this is fictional characters, okay? Don't make a big deal of it. But this was years ago. I just remembered that. The point being, Gaara literally gives her a look that actually makes Tsunade kind of, even though she's drunk and could still kick his ass, to flinch. Like, it's like, he was shut up. You have no idea what any of us have been through. I'm sorry for what you've gone through, but it doesn't give you any damn right to take it out on everyone else, which is true. Like another random person, I can't remember. Maybe they're still watching these programs to this day. Another person, I think it was in the Naruto goes Royal Crystal Village series, who talked about how I mentioned how Tsunade was not coping And they brought up apparently the definition of coping and different forms of it. And while I stopped arguing it because like you gave me definitions, but when did not coping become a form of coping? I feel like there's a problem in that comparison right there. It's like wait. So you're not coping, but that is that makes no sense. That I do not subscribe to that theory. And Tsunade in this part of the series is kind of a terrible person. Like, ultimately, she is a good person at the end of the day, but she is kind of a lousy person right now. She's way like my girlfriend has issues with Jiraiya and the whole perverted nature of him, and I had to explain that's like a cultural thing or whatever. And she likes Tsunade a lot, but even she agrees, like, yeah, Tsunade's kind of a shit. And yeah, he doesn't quite go like that far, but he just says, he's like, shut up, you don't know anything about us. You don't get to make your problems other people's problems and wallow in self-pity. Pity when you know nothing about them. So shut up. It's like when Dry's like, whoa there, kids. Like, sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to. No, it's all right. It's nice. Like, kind of like floored by that. And so the week of training comes. Naruto and Gaara are mostly now focusing on the Rasengan. Gaara's getting it down a lot quicker, but he's still struggling to create the perfect Rasengan. However, he does ultimately reach a way to do it until he can make a fully completed one, which he'll eventually be able to do. Naruto's struggling even harder. Like he can do that with the one hand, but or the two hand, but he's still struggling to contain it, even with better chakra control. Gaara's helping out as best he can, but there's only so much he can do. So then the day happens where the deadlock happens. Tsunade attacks Orochimaru and Kabuto. They go out, takes them on. Eventually, Gaara, Naruto, Jiraiya, and Suzune show up. Obviously, Tsunade gets floored by the amount of blood. Naruto comes in, tries to attack Kabuto. And this is where there's a big difference because you got Gaara here. And so when he throws the blood in Naruto's face, he's about to just tag Naruto until he gets grabbed by his. It's like, oh damn it! It's like, all right, let's go. They actually do start beating on Kabuto a bit. He's able to use a chakra scalpel to kind of slice the sand off. And he's about to come in again before he gets grabbed. And this time, Gaara's like, it's a crap. And Kabuto's like, no. Gets out as best he can. Probably using the chakra scalpel to burst the sand off. And it has to make some distance. And so it's like, this isn't good. Taijutsu is not really my forte, which when I knew of this fight, basically it's actually more Gaara versus Kabuto than anything else. When I knew that this fight was coming, it's gonna be more like Gaara, Shizune, and Naruto while Jiraiya taking care of Orochimaru. They'll summon the snakes as they failed to summon the toad. But to the point, when I knew that, I had to stop and think, would Kabuto be able to beat Gaara? Now, obviously Kakashi can beat Gaara, no problem. And the longer I think about it, the more I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? If Kakashi shouldn't really struggle that. He might be, without his Sharingan, he might have a little trouble, but he's got too many elemental jutsus. He's far too skilled. He'd be fine. Same with Guy. Kabuto is, on 2 occasions, described to be on par with Kakashi. Obviously, he got away from Kakashi. Kabuto, Orochimaru says, you're no stronger than Kakashi. And Jiraiya says that guy could go toe-to-toe with Kakashi if he had to. I'd like to analyze that statement, though, both those statements. Saying no stronger than does not mean you're actually as strong. It just means that would probably be as strong as he estimates you to be. He also says he's not, and Jiraiya says he could probably go toe-to-toe with Kakashi, but could he actually? Because he isn't good at, he says himself, taijutsu is not something he's very good at. Now, we see that despite saying that he's pretty capable with taijutsu, but he's not a master, and really the only thing that gives his taijutsu any weight is using chakra scalpels with that. Obviously, he probably has more ninjutsu. We've never really seen Kabuto's full roster of abilities. We know he's a brilliant medic, chakra scalpels, all that, and he's very intelligent. But does he have any other ninjutsu under his belt before he did the whole mutation transformation thing? I'm not certain, because without those chakra scalpels, I mean, he ran from Kakashi. Like, we do need to remember that despite the fact that he and Kakashi were kind of like going toe-to-toe a little bit, A, Kakashi didn't take him seriously enough. That's why he got away. And B, he ran from Kakashi. Now, that might be because he didn't want to attract more attention. That is actually probably the more likely scenario. But B, he probably didn't want to have to go toe-to-toe with Kakashi if he didn't have to. So my guess is, and this is just my guess, is that while they do say he's probably on par with Kakashi, my guess is he's probably not on par. Like, let's just use a random number. If Kakashi is the 10, Kabuto, and we're not maxing out, this is just the comparison. Kabuto, if Kakashi is 10, Kabuto probably ranks more like as a 7 or an 8. Like, Kakashi probably would beat him in a straight-out fight without... maybe not without question. He would probably have to use a Sharingan. Oh, he definitely had to go up, like, full on, like, okay. But, yeah, like, for example, even with his healing ability, he's not surviving a Chidori through the heart. I don't see that happening. Anyway, I say all that because him fighting Gaara, if he's not very skilled in taijutsu, and we don't see him use much else for his roster at that point in the series, Gaara is actually going to be a very hard opponent for him to deal with. Because he doesn't have an answer to actually get through the sand. Maybe the Chakra Scalpel could if he punches hard enough or stabs hard enough, but it's not a Chidori. It's not a piercing weapon. It's actually a cutting weapon. And it's just, yeah. So anyway, they summon up. Naruto could probably get like swallowed by saying, Naruto! And obviously Tsunade, tries fighting Kabuto. He's providing aid using his sand. Even she uses the ninja fog. He uses the sand to like grab him, hold him there. Kabuto has to quickly get out of the sand as best he can. Then he grabs her legs. And Gaara then summons the sand again to try to crush him. He uses a substitution jutsu. I think, oh crap, my battery's lower than I intended. I lingered too long before starting the video. 1 second, we're gonna do a bit of a tracking shot here. We're moving. And I will talk as I move, as I am doing right now. But, so more than likely, he'd use some substitution techniques to try to avoid being hit. And more than likely, what would happen is that as Gaara is trying to crush him, and maybe he does crush, like, maybe one of his hands at one point, it's like, ugh! It's like, ugh! It would take a while to, like, heal crushed body parts versus, like, just, like, a bad injury, like a slice or a wound. Even the Rasengan, he didn't fully heal from that attack because it just wrecked his internal organs a bit. He ends up, again, going underground and tagging one of Gaara's legs so Gaara can't, like, move. Like, damn it! He got my leg. Sorry, Gaara, but I can't have you. And that sand of yours is pretty tricky. I can't have you using it as freely as you can. He tries to, attack Gaara, but the sand still comes. Although he sees it's a bit weakened, as he's able to kind of mess with, hitting the leg wouldn't do that. Although there are chakra points in your leg. But maybe when he, like, pulls Gaara up, he's able to tag him a bit. Get my chakra! And the sand is now kind of not working as well. Well, now, if you'll excuse me. It's like, no! And the sand just kind of starts flopping a bit. You're still dangerous, but as long as I keep my distance, you won't be able to control the sand very well, will you? It's like, damn it! Shikaku, I need some chakra. I can't give you any, kid. He hit you in the just the right place. My chakra won't come out. It's like, damn it! And then that's when Naruto shows up. Naruto, it's like, I won't let you touch her. Back off. It's like, yeah. Come on, Naruto, you don't want to die here. If you die, you'll never become Hokage. So let me just do what I gotta do, what I have to. Hey, Granny, don't you get ready to make good on our bet, Naruto? And he just looks at Gaara too. What's my? You never go back on your word. And he just kind of says, "That's your ninja way, right?" No. That's my ninja way, right? And it's like, no, Naruto. And he just kind of like hobbles up. That's our ninja way. And so, now there's a cool, I didn't even think about it. A little something just popped in mind. What I was initially going to do is like, fine, you two just throw it all away. Dreams can't come true when you're dead. And he comes in, and Gaara, using the last of his energy, would catch the sand. And it would catch him with sand. And then using his sand, because there's still chakra, he has sand that is permeated with his chakra. Create his Rasengan using the sand to you. It's a very actually convenient way to do that. Naruto, meanwhile, makes the clone, and you would do a double Rasengan. because it's best friends who don't back down, we gotta do the Rasengan of friendship. They both hold their hands as a Rasengan forms. And, they inadvertently make a Great Ball Rasengan, just make it bigger. It's like, run! And then Gaara uses his good hand to catch Kabuto. Says, crap! Rasengan! And just boom! So they have a tag team move now. And now, a normal Rasengan put Kabuto down for a bit. He had to heal his ass up. And he was nearly out of chakra after he did it. Would that straight out kill him? Because, it's about twice, 3 times the size of normal Rasengan because they're putting a lot of chakra in there. And they're able to barely hold it, but they still managed to do it. In fact, I can even see it being like, still having some chakra wisps coming off. Would that be straight out enough to kill his ass? It killed the fake Itachi. But the fake Itachi doesn't have a healing factor. Pop, do you need to go outside? Well, I'll get you in about 10 minutes. How about that? She'll be fine. I'm not gonna lie, it might kill. I didn't even think about that till just now. That might. Let me put it this way: if it doesn't kill Kabuto, he is down for the count. There's no way he's coming back from that. He's not gonna be able to help summon Manda. That's how much he'd fuck him up. Because he's got the healing. Okay, I'll say this. Because he's got the healing ability and he started healing before the attack even hit, I will go on the side of he survived, but he's going to need time to recover and he can't help with Manda. Which means, Naruto and Gaara, full of clan college, that was everything we had. Damn it. And he's like heals up, but he can't even heal up the full wound. Just like, damn it. Hold on 1 second, folks. We're walking again, Puppy. Do you need to go outside? There's nothing outside. There you go, Puppy. Sorry about that, folks. Okay. I don't edit. We're gonna keep doing this. So that means that those 2 minutes saying jutsu like that, impossible. And Kabuto's down for even with his abilities, Kabuto's down for the count. It's like, damn you, Jiraiya. Uzumaki. Damn you. And you too, Gaara. Fun question. Do you think, maybe in part 2, Gaara could adopt the name Uzumaki? Just because Naruto and him are more or less brothers at this point? I don't know. That's just an interesting idea. Because Gaara doesn't have a surname is the problem. It's of the desert, yes, but that's not an actual surname. So that's just, a title he kind of has. Because my name is Brent of the forest. That's not quite how that works. But, I don't know. Would you like the idea of him adopting the Uzumaki's surname, maybe during the time skip or something? Anywho, Orochimaru realizes, I could try to kill the boys. They're both weakened, but I'm down Kabuto. He's just like, damn you, and just kind of pierce. Kabuto, are you still able to fight? No, Lord. It takes some time to recover. I'm lucky to be alive after that, to be honest. It's like, very well, we'll take our leave. I warn you, though, next time I will have the key to immortality. And so, he disappears. Now, Tsunade, twofold, does not overcome her fear of blood here, and is, it doesn't revert to old woman's form. Not that that matters at all. However, Tsunade is still looking, I was like, those two, they did it. They actually managed to complete the Rasengan. And Naruto's about, immediately Naruto's kind of like, get ready to make good on our, I told you we'd be able to do it. But he just passes out. It's like, Naruto, kid. I think, and Gaara just grabs his leg in his chest. They're both done. And she looks at him, just smile. She's like, are you okay? It's just chakra exhaustion. He'll be fine. She just kind of has him in his head in his lap. And Shizune, meanwhile, is treating Gaara. It's like, these kids, after all this, and she smiles. She's like, just one more time, just once more. I'm going to put it all on you. And she still makes one of her bet and gives him the necklace. And so she is now the 5th Hokage. Naruto still says, why should we have her? She's a grumpy old lady hiding her real age. And she gets pissed off about it. Now, we're only 20 minutes or so into the what if. Let's just get the retrieval stuff out of the way right now, because there is some changes with that too. So they get back. Sasuke's recovering. Obviously, they would go, and he's just sitting there. Whoa! Like, if you think Sasuke was bad before, this Sasuke didn't even get to make it to the finals. Doesn't have the Chidori. Again, he might have started being taught the Chidori, but he never got around to truly learning it. Like, he might know, like they were probably working on his speed, and maybe he was teaching him a couple other lightning jutsu to offset that. But yeah. So he is walling. Meanwhile, Gaara and Naruto have just been climbing ahead of him. Gaara was always difficult to deal with, but he always still felt he was on par with Sasuke, but never superior. Whereas Naruto was still the dead last. Now, you know what? Maybe not quite the dead last, but still never up to Sasuke's level. Even in combat, when they kind of tied, Sasuke always knew, I have the Sharingan. I got fire. I'm an Uchiha. I'm better than him. But now it's just like they come in, and Sakura probably still smacks them, and Gaara's like, laughs a little bit. And Naruto, I want you to fight me. Fight me right now. And then Sasuke, what are you talking about? And Gaara's just like, what's going on, Sasuke? You stay out of this, Gaara. It's between me and him. And it's like, and Naruto, and him and Sasuke go and have their fight. The only problem here is that Naruto has the Rasengan, and he's overall stronger than Sasuke here. Sasuke just doesn't have the Chidori at all. Like, maybe he has a couple lightning jutsu, I would imagine, but it's just not enough. Also, Naruto probably picked up from Gaara that if he uses a clone, he can create the Rasengan. So that's how he does it. So he still has that. Meanwhile, during that fight, they're kind of about to clash. Sasuke creates maybe a mock Chidori, like he tries to, like he's probably watched Kakashi do it at least once, so he tries to do it and kind of has something there, but it's not the right one. And unfortunately, it wrecks his chakras because he's never used it before. So he failed, and then obviously Gaara comes, that's enough. Gaara, what is it? Is it you? It's like, that's enough, you two. We're supposed to be teammates, not friends. You're not supposed to. A fight's fine, but don't try to kill each other. It's like, and it's like, that's quite right, Kakashi. That's quite right indeed. And there's Kakashi. What were you two thinking? And so, Naruto's pissed off. Sasuke hightails it out of there. And that technique, that was definitely the Rasengan. You sure it was okay teaching him that move? You're one to talk. Yeah. You really, or how Dry would put it this way. You're one to talk. You're telling me about my teaching credentials? Yeah, you prioritized the Uchiha over Naruto during the Chunin exams. He wasn't even in the finals. What kind of explanation do you give that? To which Kakashi, admittedly, just gets caught on that. One's like, you're not wrong, but Sasuke's going down a dark. It was ever since Orochimaru, he's been leaning towards a darker path. My goal was to try to move him more towards the light again. By teaching him the Chidori, I didn't actually teach him the Chidori. I showed him the technique once. He must have copied it. I didn't think he was ready to actually learn it yet. And based on that, I was right. Because that technique wasn't completed yet. Hello, puppy. 1 second. Yeah. Did you enjoy your outside time? And we're back. So obviously, Naruto, like, that's the thing between me and Sasuke. Stay out of it. To which Gaara just, it's like, just kind of like poof, smacks him in the head with some sand. Ow! It's like, Gaara, what was this? It's like, are you really being that big of an idiot right now, Naruto? And he's just, and yeah, he just kind of, Naruto doesn't want to talk about it. But he knows he's also kind of being a pig-headed ass. And Gaara's just like, yeah, no, no, that was stupid, Naruto, and you know it. And so he still kind of goes and just does his own thing. I think Sakura does go ask him for the date, and they talk about Sasuke. Sasuke gets caught by Kakashi, the infamous, it's an interesting idea, but you're a little too late to test it out. Everyone you're already talking about is already dead. I just love that eye smile. Just, everyone you're talking about is already dead. Anywho, so then the sound forward come, and honestly, he's more receptive here than before, and so he hightails it out of there. Sakura is fails to stop him. Now, big change here. Shikamaru is not a Chunin. They never got to his match. In fact, he didn't even get a match because Hinata beat him in the preliminaries. So the only matches we actually had here were Gaara, Neji, and Naruto Shira. So what's the deal here? How is this going to go down for the Gaara retrieval arc when we know, or Sasuke retrieval arc, when we know that none of the Jonin were really available to lead? As far as we know, Kakashi we know was out on a mission. We assumed all the main Jonin were out on missions to maintain the appearance of strength, and only like a reserve were left there. But, and you can tell me I'm wrong on this, it's fine. There's an argument to be made that Gaara could be made Chunin. He's certainly at the power level of one. Hell, he's honestly a low Jonin in terms of power, if we're going to be frank. Add on Shikaku's chakra now, and now they're having the Rasengan and still practicing more techniques with the sand. Yeah, he's definitely a low Jonin at least. But, we did see some of his fight with Neji, but more importantly, what he did to stop the invasion of the sand. It was stopping Shinra, keeping Shikaku at bay, and Tsunade personally saw him and how he handled himself. So, I think there is, while they only had part of Neji and Gaara's fight, it was pretty clear Gaara was going to win the fight. I think you can make a loose, I'll even say that, I'll admit, it's a loose argument, but I think it works at least for the context of the story, that they at least give Gaara the promotion to Chunin. And in fact, maybe when he comes into the, by the way, I love his red outfit. Not the one he's got some red on him, but I mean the one we see when he goes to rescue Lee from Kimimaro. I like that outfit a lot. And I think that would be the Chunin outfit we have for him later on in part 2. Right now, he still kind of looks a little bit like himself, like his canon counterpart. That's true. I never actually explained what his outfit probably looks like. It's probably not, it's like there's probably more greens in there, but he's probably got a similar outfit. Maybe he has more like a sleeve than he did prior, or something like that. But no, I really dug the outfit he had with Kimimaro, and as Hokage, honestly, because I believe that's the same outfit. I can even see it there. It's the same outfit, I'm pretty sure. So that, I think, is the outfit he'll definitely have for part 2. But he probably wore his Chunin vest into see Sasuke, and that just infuriated even more. Like, he saw Gaara's a Chunin, saw Naruto's this, yeah. So he's the Chunin here. Now, who would make it onto the team? Well, we know that generally speaking, 5-man squads are like the norm, but you can go beyond. I wrote down who I thought should be on the team. So Gaara, I do think they managed to get Shikamaru, and they managed to get Choji. I do think that, because they're probably together. Obviously Naruto's on the team. Kiba shows up too, because he showed up with Neji, or I showed up for Choji. I do think they find Neji, who also, by the way, hasn't had that character growth moment yet. So he's still kind of, like, pissy. He's still upset. But he definitely is still, he's definitely still a member of the team here. But I heard people say, well, Lee's not in the hospital. He should be able to be on the team. Here's the problem with that. They found Neji and Lee together in that one spot after Lee's surgery. So they were together, and if they were together, and they found, if Lee and Neji were together at the time, in this version, yes, Lee would make it, but we don't know what Lee's actually doing. Like, there's actually no reason for him to be hanging out with Neji unless they're training. Knowing Lee, he's probably training. And you're not going to go out of your way to find Lee for this. So I don't actually see that happening here. So yeah, it's, instead of a 5-man squad, it is, I believe, a 7-man squad. Yeah, no, it's a 6-man squad. with Gaara leading the front, but asking for Shikamaru to kind of be a secondary because he's the best strategist, and that's where Shikamaru makes up the plans. He's not as gung ho, or not gung ho, but forward about Zoe's like, look, I normally gotta listen, but he's a fellow ninja of the leaf, so I'll put my life in the line to bring him back. I would say he's that motivated, but he's knowing that this is a danger, and knowing that the leader is putting his faith in him. I do think he does like step up, at least in his own way. So they map out the team formation, which if you're including, honestly, really the only difference here is that Gaara is included. But if you're including Gaara in this, where would Gaara be? That's actually a good question. I would say Gaara may be the one up front, even beyond Shikamaru, because his sand provides defense. So they would go. First stop would be Jirobo, which I honestly think they handle Jirobo without too much difficulty, because Gaara can literally just, even with the chakra infused in the sand, can literally grind sand and from the environment around. So, you know, when Jirobo's like trying to absorb chakra, all of a sudden she's like, what? And all of a sudden it's like, sand caught burial. Just kill him. Like, I don't think Jirobo would really get a chance to go first or second state mark, and then they get out of the dome. Neji, I think, does, however, stay back to fight Kitamaru. Although Kitamaru probably would be difficult would have difficult time with Gaara, because again, his sand and like, yeah, the webs are problematic, but the sand just, okay, it slides webs. Like, it's basically just catching little bits of sand at best, and there's chakra in the sand. So if Gaara is able to make, like, say, a sharp enough, let's call it a blade of sand, he should be able to get through there, or cut through them, or Neji and him tag team and take Kitamaru down without too much difficulty. Although his liquid metal webbing that he can just use kind of like as a temporary armor, that might prove a little problematic at first, but I think they should be fine against Kitamaru as well. Sakan, Ukon, Tayuya. At this point, there's still enough of them that it would give him a serious problem. Obviously, they get ambushed. Gaara honestly could probably just take out Sakan and Ukon, no problem. Then he binds, honestly, uses his sand to bind them both. It's like, I can't get out of the sand. They both start to go second stage or first stage curse mark. And Gaara's like, no, you don't. I was like, Naruto. All of a sudden, Naruto's there with a thing on. Kiba's there with a fang over fang. I was like, tries to burst out, but Naruto still lands the hit on Sakan and Ukon, who, as terrible as they are thanks to their biology, can't take a hit from chakra, that's for certain. And Tayuya just gets hit by Kiba. And the sand softened a little bit, they're still interesting. It's like, you little, all of a sudden Shoji comes in, super expansive! It's like, partial expansion jutsu! Boom! Puts them into the ground. Okay, let's get going. And, you know, they catch Sasuke and they start hightailing it out of there. So, damn, they're both injured now, so they honestly probably would go full on second state just to catch up with them. Only for that, but the problem is they would have such a big gap, or a big enough gap, with the defensive capabilities of Shikamaru's shadow possession and Gaara's sand, that there's probably, and they're maybe even using the sand to set explosive tags already, blowing up the area. Kimimaro is actually not even going to be there in time, because they're way ahead of schedule because they took care of Jirobo like that. So they're already way ahead of when Kimimaro would have showed up. So when Kimimaro shows up, it sees me either defeated or broken and bloodied version of the two remaining Sound Ninja. It's like, what are you idiots doing? Where's Lord Orochimaru's vessel? And so yeah. Now, that being said, would either Tayuya or Sakan Ukon be dead at this point? Honestly, Tayuya got killed by Tamari in her windsight being crushed by trees. And she didn't look like she was hit by the attack. She looked like she was crushed to death by the trees. So, yeah. Tayuya, I think, honestly, could be dead. Sakan and Ukon might be the last ones alive. So maybe they're heading towards them as well. And Kiba's like, that last Sound guy is back there. And there's someone else with him. Someone new. and I don't like this guy, and I don't like his chakra. By the by, we don't know we know a lot about Kimimaro in terms of like his physicality. We don't know what his chakra levels are like. We assume though, even without the curse mark, they must have been pretty big. Just for him to be. Then again, we only ever see him do things like his dances, or like his big dances, when he's in his second state. So that's a lot of extra chakra being pumped in there. But I have to imagine he had a pretty sizable chakra pool, especially if he was able to tire out Gaara. Like Gaara used that. We literally just finished watching that fight Sunday or Monday. No, Monday. We literally finished watching that fight Monday, and yeah, Gaara even said, "I nearly out of chakra." Like he pushed Gaara, and Gaara has a significant amount of chakra. So now they're like, okay, we need to get out of here. I should also note, Sasuke probably isn't coming out of his coffin yet, again, because they're ahead of schedule. And so basically, I think Gaara tells Choji, Shikamaru, and Choji and Shikamaru to get Sasuke out of there. Or actually, but then Shikamaru says, no, Gaara, it should be you, me, and Naruto who stays. Kiba, Akamaru, Choji, you get him out of here. With my shadow possession jutsu, I'll be able to hold them off a bit longer. That'll enable you to get your attacks in. All right, let's do this. And so yeah, Kimimaro and Sakon show up, but they get cussed. Shadow possession jutsu. How annoying. We've already, and Sakon's already in second state. You really think you're going to be able to hold me with this kid? We already said before we have a way out of this. True, but do you have a way out of this? And all of a sudden the sand's wrapping around him again. And Kimimaru's now like, what is this? Sand? I've heard of this him, the Shikaku's Jinchuriki, Gaara of the Leaf. Then he's also built up more sand. I made sure to save some special for you. And so Sokka's like, get out of here! And Shikamaru undoes the shadow possession. Sokka and Ukon are probably just screwed. They don't have a defense. But Kimimaru's bones do give him protection to a certain degree. And so, sand burial! And so he just tries to crush Kimimaru, who still gets out of there. I will not deny Lord Orochimaru his purpose. And he's already in first stage. Like, he knew he had to go pretty hard just to stay out of there. He's throwing bones at people. Crap! What is this guy? By the by, yeah, Shikamaru's shadow possession wouldn't stop him from shooting bones out of his body. And Shikamaru's like, it's like, you will not take Sasuke! Rasengan! And just pops the Naruto. You'll have to do better than that. And all of a sudden, more Naruto's showing up. All of them have Rasengans in their hands. And he's just trying to slice a Rasengan. It kind of actually does break the bone project. He was able to break my bone sword. That's impressive, but not impressive enough. And Gaara's like, I gotta do something to help Naruto out. He's just not, he doesn't have anything to take this guy on. Shikamaru, can you get him in the shadow possession again? Yeah, but he's got the ability to shoot bones. I don't see what's going to help. I have an idea. All right, you're the leader. They're fighting in the forest, by the way. So Naruto's just like, it actually gets skewered, and it's the real one's like, ah! It's like, you're one of the pests Lord Orochimaru hates the worst. Still, now then, well, let me. You really think that will work another time? I know your trick. You can. Yeah, my body can't move while you're in control. That doesn't mean my jutsu still doesn't work. And the bones start coming out again. All of a sudden, the sand rushes in. And it's like, hey, that sand won't pierce me. All of a sudden, he hears the sound similar that he heard before. That sound. But that boy is all of a sudden. There are several Rasengans in the sand, being basically because Gaara's chakra permeates the sand, at least the special sand. So, by all accounts, he can make a Rasengan and keep it there and move it with his sand. So there's like several Rasengans, like Russian desert, or what would be the best term here? Sand style. Rasengan, Rasengan Iron Maiden, because basically it's like an Iron Maiden where where you get there's spikes on the inside. Except now it's Rasengan. Ah! You just hear the sound of him screaming. He goes to the second state, but he's not fully recovered from that. Just like they all hit him like right here. Just you and Gaara's he's tired out now. Like Gaara's used up a lot of his chakra, but he does activate Shikaku's chakra to like give himself a boost. And so all of a sudden Naruto's like, we already told you. All of a sudden Naruto pulls out the sword, and he goes full on Kurama mode. I mean, not one tail, but still. It's like, you're not getting Sasuke, and he just rushes in. And now he's fighting Gaara Sand, moving like twice as fast with Rasengan. Naruto is so enraged and has so much chakra, he's actually able to make his Rasengan with one hand. And he literally like somehow double teams it. And like, I don't know, I'm making stuff up now. Or maybe he makes clones. Two Rasengans. Starts just coming in with the fists. Fist of Rasengan. Rasen fist. Just starts punching. And Kimimaro is like fighting for life here. Just, Mind you, Kimimaro, without even releasing the damn curse mark, could take on hundreds of Kyuubi chakra enhanced, and I mean feral chakra enhanced Naruto's, like it was a walk in the park. So, but that being said, this is the only Naruto here. And so maybe he like throws the clones at him, he like takes the clones out of existence, but then Naruto comes in. And so knowing that it's him, he's a lot more cautious. Like knowing this is his real body, I mean, and so he just comes in. He tries to do everything. He makes like I can't remember the dance, but the giant spear. Naruto and him clash. Starts to break apart. Impossible. And then Gaara's just like makes one big Rasengan over him, and he's actually using the sand similar to how he's like would create the Rasengan. Like he's literally just like how Naruto would do it. So he's just like, and all of a sudden the Rasengan, made from sand infused with chakra, is just huge. This huge ball just comes in, just Rasengan sand art, Rasengan a gavel, or what? Think of a name for that, where you just have a really big one, like the size of Kimimaro himself, and he just like slams it down. Rasengan gavel, because I'm thinking a gavel, like because you do that with a gavel, but Rasengan. What name would I give this one? Rasengan drop? Guillotine. Oh, guillotine's a good name. Rasengan guillotine! Or Rasen guillotine! And then, Kimimaro just tries to get out of there. And then tries to bop, and all of a sudden, Naruto just grabs him and just like popping him. But there's so many of them, like just holding him there. Like Naruto just dogpiled him, kind of like he did Jiraiya. Kimimaro just popping out of existence, but it's too late, and just boom! He's just there. And even though his bones kind of survived, it's like, Lord Orochimaru, forgive me. So that's how Kimimaro did. And Naruto and him just, dear God, that guy was tough. It's like, you guys are crazy. You guys really are crazy. You know that? Yeah, let's catch up with the others. And they catch up, and they're able to find Neji. He's like, oh God, Neji. Hold on, guy, man, we're coming. We're going to get you there. And they're able to get back to the village. Medics kick Neji in. Everyone else is more or less tired. And wouldn't you know it, it's at this point that Sasuke wakes up. It's like, what? No, this can't be. I'm back in the village. Village? Yes, you are. And then all of a sudden, the Tsunade get behind him, just grab punch him, just By the way, again, remind me why I think somebody explained to me, but why is that called a rabbit punch? Just yeah, and again, if you ever want to know how effective that is, like why people just kind of get knocked out, give yourself a light tap on the right below that little bump on your skull or on your neck. You get that tingle sensation. That's why people tend to drop. Your knees just give out. And so Sasuke is caught, brought back, captured. And now what a lot of people, and so we catch the aftermath. Neji is hospitalized, but he'll be okay. Hinata even visits him, brings him some flowers, and Neji. Now, by the way, Neji's fight with Kidomaru. Again, it's not, sometimes your eyes are better than mine or all that, but he maybe has some growth. Like the whole people call me a genius kind of thing. moment with him. I think that still happens. So I do think he gets some level of growth. And he sees this alleged dead last like Naruto, and how strong he's become. He just and Naruto just talks about how, yeah, he won't let destiny determine who he is. I'll make his own destiny. Which, you know, I love a lot of like Naruto viewers, particularly like I love watching Nick, NC Hammer. But again, everyone's talking about Naruto had the parentage of it, like Minato and Kushina. He was also the reincarnation of a god and given the strongest tail beast there is. Okay, yeah, and he's got the tail. That's the whole point of the story, and he still sucked at controlling it for God knows how long. Yeah, but was it an advantage given to him? Only if you look at it at the end of the story. In the first 2/3 of the story, hell no. No, 3/4 of the story, hell no, that's not an advantage. Only in certain circumstances was that an advantage. Okay, what about being the son of Minato and Kushina? What did that actually do for him? He didn't have adamantine chains. All he did was have an absurdly huge natural chakra reserve, being half Uzumaki. And by the way, I'm sick of people saying that, no, they even said you got nothing special from your mom or dad. Yeah, because they didn't have special abilities. He didn't inherit the adamantine chakra. He still had super huge chakra reserves, and no, that's not simply because of Kurama. It's because he was still half Uzumaki. He also had their stamina and life force along with there. So, but apart from that, like, okay, yeah, he had big chakra reserves. He still had to work and learn how to control that. And then third, the whole being a reincarnation of a god, being an Asuras reincarnation. When did that actually play a factor in his story? Near the damn end of the story. He still had to work his ass off to get what he had. And even by the end of part 1, as strong as he was, there were plenty of people who could have mopped the floor with his ass. So I'm sick and tired of people saying, oh, he's the reincarnation of Ninja Jesus. Oh, Naruto, the moral is ruined because of, oh, shut up. Yes, did the writing go off the reins a bit and ship it in? Oh, 100%. But did that detract from the story to a degree? Yeah, I won't argue that. But to say that Naruto had all the advantages, bullshit. I'm sorry, I went off, but because Sasuke is someone who's born into advantages, and even he struggled severely in part 1 for a while. So you don't give me this crap. Sorry. For some reason, anytime I hear that, I'm like, I'm sorry. Are we just pissed off that they chose to take the series in this route? I think we are. Anyway, the aftermath comes. Neji's getting treatment. Hinata probably visits him. He's like, Hinata, why are you here? Oh, just wanted to see that you were okay. Yeah, thank you. He kind of just like, okay, thank you. Not thank you, but he's just kind of contemplating things. Hiyashi probably hasn't told him about what happened but you know what? Honestly, this could be a scenario where Hiyashi comes in and explains what happened. Why? Because Neji nearly died to save other ninja members of the Leaf. And maybe some of what he has learned after talking, like say with Hinata, maybe explains that what he kind of like came to conclusions of about maybe being a genius or maybe his fate or destiny. Maybe, and he's still not 100% fixed, be very clear, but he's hit a turning point in his life. And so maybe Hiyashi comes in to visit him and he goes, Lord Hiyashi, what are you doing here? There's something I need to tell you. Also, remember, this is his brother's son, and he loved his brother. Despite the issues with the main household and the branch household, he did love his brother. So he explained that, he bows. Meanwhile, Sasuke is now under heavy interrogation. And as a lot of people have pointed out, and now I've kind of skirted the issue up until now, Sakura would be in a world of trouble. Because, honestly, trying to stop him from leaving is one thing. They can't get around that. But saying, please take me with you. That's not trying to stop him from leaving. That's not trying to stop Orochimaru. That's a you thing. That's a selfish you thing. That's you also wanting to abandon your village for a boy. So Sakura, and now, her punishment, I do think maybe depends on circumstances. I do think that. And I think it depends on how much Naruto and Gaara might be able to vouch for her. And honestly, Kakashi's probably in a world of shit too here. No, he's not gonna like demote her. He's Kakashi fucking the Sharingan. They're not gonna get rid of him. They're not gonna demote him or fire him or put him incarcerated. But he is gonna get reprimanded pretty hard. And probably to the point of, yeah, you're going to have to make it up big time to them. You neglected your other students for this kid, and look how he turned out. Just all because you thought you saw yourself in him. And Kakashi just, doesn't have an answer. Like, yeah, this is in his head. He's like, this is Sensei's son. Like, oh man, I really screwed the pooch on this. I will say this, because Gaara and Naruto are there. Is Sakura gonna be completely locked away in prison? No. See, intent and action are two different things. Her intent, and they would definitely have to do a mind scan on her too. I'll say this. If she had actually gone with Sasuke, I think throwing her in prison, you have to. You have to at that point. Even being just a genin and a not very good genin at that point. But, again, that's action. Intent and the intent behind the intent are two different things. Like, her offering to go with him, yeah, she needs to be in trouble for that. But understanding where it was coming from, understanding her emotional state and where it all kind of lies, I think, and Gaara and Naruto kind of standing up for her is like, no, come on, look, she was heartbroken. She was in everything with Gaara and Sasuke is like, and Tsunade just holds her hand up. I understand that she's young. She's a young woman. She's in love. Believe me, I understand that. But we can't. But she literally offered to betray us just so she could go with him. Not even for power or anything, just so she could be with him. Now the good news is that's a double-edged sword. The bad part of the sword is she meant to abandon the village. The good news is it wasn't to threaten the village at all. So we can be somewhat lenient, but she's going to be incarcerated at least for a month, just so she can understand what will happen if she does something like that ever again. And she's going to be under strict surveillance for the next I don't know, year minimum. I think that's, again, first offense. She's a girl. That sounds sexist, but she's a young woman. She's emotional. And again, the intent behind the intent, like the reason for the intent, they can be lenient this time around. But yeah, and she's not going to be allowed to participate in the next 2 Chunin exams or anything like that. Furthermore, she's really not going to train under Tsunade. Well, okay. Is she going to train under Tsunade? That's a fair question to ask. Right now, God, no. But could Tsunade see a little bit of herself in Sakura because of that? And because of her own past bad actions. Mind you, she never, there was the Orochimaru thing. That was possibly going to betray the village. I'll say this. Okay, I'm making the choice right now. You can tell me that's wrong, whatever. That's the choice I'm making. She will start training with her maybe half, because Naruto was gone for about 3 years. For about the half a year mark, which would be after her probation, house arrest, all that. Sakura is just probably distraught about everything. She wants to help Sasuke, but Sasuke, they won't let her see Sasuke, except maybe like on regular, not. If she becomes Chunin, they'll let her see her and whatever she wants, but she has to go through her sensei and all that, who's also in trouble. Like, all of Team 7 who isn't Naruto and Gaara is so in the shit right now. But I would say, again, maybe for about a half a year she can train with Tsunade. Now, where would that put her in terms of power? Well, let me put it this way. Would that allow her to say Kankuro when sorcery happens? Because this is something that also gets brought up a lot. Half a year and a half's worth of training with Tsunade. I will go with yes, but he's crippled for life. I would say, again, as people have said, only Sakura and Tsunade Tsunade could have done it, and she trained under Tsunade, all that. Kankuro was saved and was able to go back to his ninja duty. I think a year and a half of training with Tsunade would give Sakura enough skill, and maybe she even double times it a little bit just to make up for her mistakes, to make it up to Naruto and Gaara, and in her mind for Sasuke as well. So I would say yes, she could save him, but again, crippled, can't be a ninja anymore. Anyway, though, Naruto and Gaara ultimately, Dry comes and goes, hey, I got a training trip for us. It's going to be a 3-year training trip. You were able to bring him back. Good for you. You were able to do something I was never able to do. What do you mean? You're not the only one who ever lost a friend, kid. But that's neither here nor there. All right, then. So get you packed. And so basically, Gaara and Naruto get to go on the 3-year training mission, which we'll talk about the results of that next time because we're nearly hitting an hour. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys for the next one. Have a good one.